State, and although that wasn't part of the schedule necessarily. Did you conscientiously try to do more of a local flavor this year, or was it kind of the way things lined up, it just happened?
You probably have to ask Mario. We, I don't think set out intentionally to schedule all the teams locally that we did. It just worked out that way. Obviously, there'll be a lot more fan interest in teams that are, within an hour drive of the Cintas Center for visiting fans to come and the game to have a little bit more meaning than it might be if we were playing a team from, say, Florida.
How well do you know Coach Donlin?
I know him really well. I knew Billy when he was an assistant under Brad Brownell, and I've gotten to know him even more through Coaches versus Cancer stuff that we do together. And, I consider him a really good friend. I think he's an excellent basketball coach. His teams are very, very disciplined. They're skilled. They shoot the ball well. But as far as the friendship goes, we're going to have to put that on hold for a few hours tomorrow night.
It seems like their defense is one of the best things they do. Can you talk about what they're?
Well, they really they mix up their man and their matchup zone fairly well. I think the best thing they do on the defensive end is they limit teams to one shot. They take great pride in blocking out. You can see that on film. The percentages bear that out in terms of how many offensive rebounds they allow. Being able to get the ball inside, being able to generate good shots against both man and zone be really important. And then we have to exert even more effort to get to the offensive glass based on how they block out.
There's a pretty good buzz about the team around town. Number 12 in the country for the second week in a row. This isn't in a rankings question, it's just more or less, are you noticing people talking about the program? How exciting is it for Xavier to get this kind of recognition around town?
That's great for fans. It's poison as a coach. It's something you can't really control. You can't stop. It's anything today is exposed times 20 with social media and just everybody trying to get a sound bite. So as coaches, you really you try to guard against it and you try to warn your team that you're only who you are on game night. I mean, it's great for the program. It's great for recruiting. But for this team, it doesn't help any.
Do you feel like the team's playing good ball? I know you were upset a couple weeks ago, but just with the naked eye, even watching, it looks like your team's really starting to come into its own.
Yeah, I mean, I think at times we play really well. But, the consistency is what we're trying to gain. I just point to maybe 2 games down in Orlando. Alabama, we played pretty poorly in the first half and turned around and played really well in the second half. And then we followed up the next day. We play lights out in the first half against Southern Cal. And in the second half, we play like we're hanging off a cliff by our fingernails and didn't play as well. So the consistency is what I'm really after, both collectively and then individually, knowing each night, what we're going to get out of a certain player. And I don't mean, how he shoots the ball, I mean points he scores, just the effort, the intangible things. We want to be the same team each and every night we hit the floor. And I think we're getting to that point. It starts in practice. We'll find out here in about 15, 20 minutes what our practice is like on Monday. And that's really who you become on game night, your practice habits. And I do like the fact that I think our team is really recognizing how important that is day to day.
Edmund had 12 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers in the last game. Has he become or started to develop into what you want to see from him as a point guard?
He's just scratching the surface of his potential, but at the same time, he's also producing. He's also playing well. He takes pride on both ends of the floor, which is great to see. If you get on Edmund for any particular reason, he takes to coaching very well, which is part of the reason that he's growing as a player. I think our team certainly has a ton of confidence in him, and I think he's one of the best young point guards in the country. And I don't think that's going to change based on how he works every single day in practice, his IQ for the game, and just his innate ability.
One of the things that kind of got lost in the shuffle after last game was just how well Remy played defense. Is he getting better off the ball?
He's getting a lot better off the ball. It wasn't maybe lost by our coaching staff, because I think that was one of the first guys I pointed out in the locker room after the game. When you don't necessarily produce a high volume of points, you're not involved in maybe a highlight play or two, people don't talk about you. But that does not mean in any way, shape, or form that he doesn't bring a whole lot of value to this team. He's a senior. He's been through the wars. He practices hard every day. We put him on generally the team's best perimeter threat. And he's doing a much better job in his senior year of not only playing his man, but also making sure that he's giving to his help responsibility off the ball. And I couldn't be happier with how he's playing defensively and how he's leading this team.